Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing fantastic. I hope you have a great start of the day. And today I wanted to share with you guys the things that I learned from being a software engineer. And you want to make sure that you know what you're getting into, and you want to make sure that you learn from my lessons. So to do that, make sure you watch this video until the end and stay tuned. You guys know that I'm a huge fan of online learning, and if you guys have been following my journey, which you should have been, you must know that I started learning how to code in 2013 all through online platforms. I was trying to absorb as much information as was there online as possible, and for you guys, I have an amazing platform that I would recommend. Today's video is sponsored by Educative. Educative provides courses for you to learn programming. I actually have been wanting to learn machine learning for a while, and look, they have an amazing machine learning course for software engineers with 85 lessons and 8 quizzes, and most importantly, 115 challenges. I love that the platform is super interactive because then you get to learn and absorb things that you're learning hands-on. So Educative has an amazing coding interview course that they just released. It's called Rocking the Coding Interview. And what is incredible about this course is that it actually provides you and teaches you 15 underlying patterns to solve coding interview problems. Educative also provides you to try the platform for free, and for the first 50 users, I'm offering a 20% discount. Use the code Luba, L-U-B-A, at the checkout to get this discount, and you guys should try out and check out Educative. Now let's talk about the things that I learned through my career as a software engineer. So I have started my software engineering journey 6 years ago, and I have both interned at companies as a software engineer as well as worked as a software engineer full-time. And I compressed 4 main learnings for you guys. First and foremost, you should embrace the struggle. You know, coding is hard. It's not going to be all flowers and roses and you will just see a problem and you will understand it right away and be off to implementation and be off to just completing it immediately. I mean, of course, that might be the case, but especially if you're in a workplace, you're constantly faced with new problems, with new challenges, with new things that you need to learn. So I name it Embrace the Struggle because you really need to be okay with that feeling that you might actually be struggling from time to time. There must be things that you haven't learned yet. And you know, technology, the field of technology, the field of programming, it's constantly being innovated upon. It's constantly changing, and you constantly feel like you need to learn, and this thing you haven't seen yet, and that thing is completely new. And you know, there have been times when I would literally like bang my head on the wall in the struggle that I couldn't figure something out. But one thing that you really need to keep in mind is that persistence, hard work, consistency is the key. And if you embrace that mindset of, you know, you might struggle, it might be hard, you're going to be fine because through your persistence, through your hard work and consistency, you'll figure it out. Another thing that I learned in my software engineering career is that you really need to have that hacker problem solver mindset. You know, one thing that I realized when I became a software engineer after studying chemical engineering is that there is never a formula for how something can be done. Of course, there are best practices and there are recommendations, but you know, in a traditional engineering industry, you can take, let's say, a formula of like second law of thermodynamics, for example, and you know exactly that you apply this formula and you expect a certain result, you expect certain concepts to be applicable, whereas in programming and software engineering, I found that you really need to embrace the mentality of you need to, you know, get down and really understand things to the core, you know, dig in, reverse engineering. You don't necessarily have to have that formula that will tell you exactly why the thing happens. And another thing is that, you know, every company usually has its own way of doing things, its own systems, potentially its own internal tools that they've built from scratch, and you probably have never seen them before. And for that, you also need to have that debugger problem solver mindset because it might be things that you, again, have never interacted with before, and you need to be able to get down to the core of how they're being implemented, how they're being architected, so that you can, go on with solving the tasks and building systems that you really need to build. And asking for help is totally fine, but if you ask for help all the time without really trying to dig yourself first, then you might just miss on the opportunity to really understand things deeply and to be able to solve problems moving forward. Another thing that I learned in my career as a software engineer is that collaboration with others is absolute key. You might think that, oh, I'm just gonna, be super antisocial. I'm just gonna sit in my corner and just, code and like no one's gonna bug me, no one's gonna bother me. No, you need to be a team player. You need to be a good collaborator, because a lot of the times, besides just you, in a company, besides just you coding and implementing and building stuff, there is gonna be probably a designer, there's gonna be a product manager, there's gonna be probably other engineers working on it too. You need to make sure that you have great communication. You need to make sure that everyone's on the same page with respect to where you're at. You need to be able to brainstorm with other people and collaborate with them on how to best solve the problem. And of course, in collaboration, having a huge ego is not a good thing. You need to be humble. You need to listen to other people, because a lot of the times you can learn something from them. And I personally have learned that as a software engineer, a lot of the times you will need to interact with people, and you need to be a great collaborator for that. Oh, and you guys don't forget to check out Educative. The link is going to be in the description. Use my code Luba, L-U-B-A, for 20% for the first 50 people at the checkout. They have amazing courses on programming, an amazing course on coding interviews, so check it out. And last but not least, something that I honestly wish companies or universities or whatever courses you are taking to become a software engineer would teach is project management. Something that I learned is that a lot of people are not that great at project management, and the reason behind it, project management is not rocket science. It's because people are not really taught how to do project management, and they're not really recognizing it as a real skill and something that they need to take the time to learn. Especially in a big company, you would be given a project, and as I said in the point before, you will be collaborating with all these people, but at the same time, you might also have other teams in the company that you might be collaborating with, or teams that are touching the same code base, the same features, and you really need to stay in touch with them about what you're doing and what's going on. So I think project management is extremely key, to be honest, now in any profession, but in software engineering as well. You need to make sure that you communicate with the stakeholders, you identify the risks, you need to make sure that everyone's in the loop and everyone knows what's going on. And that is something that is not very hard. You just need to take the time to learn it. It's extremely important. And if you guys are becoming or are software engineers, take the time to learn project management, just like main pillars of how project management is done, and you will be all set. Yeah, so I recently read this book. It's just called Project Management for the Unofficial Project Manager. Here it is. And I thought this book really just hit the nail on all the points that are important for project management as a software engineer, or as really anyone else who works in a collaborative environment. Yeah, I would recommend to read that book. So yeah, project management is something that I would definitely recommend you to get on. That is it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to this channel. I hope you are learning from all the things that I have learned from my journey as a software engineer, and you will take these things into consideration and into account, and I'm very confident you're going to be incredible in this profession, and you're just going to be amazing, persistent, hardworking, and just the best, and you are the best. Have a great rest of the day, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.